find expensive the SIM cards. Yeah, this is the only thing I bought. Cheaper? I don't know, water?
I'm not sure that I see all the things. Maybe the most expensive is maybe the entrance in this Hagia Sophia, and the cheapest things, as it's sweet and so cheap and so that you can easily get, is baklava, because I like it so much. It's so tasty. I think I will leave here all my money on the baklava and other sweetness in Turkey.
You know what I found expensive here? I came like in this city to buy some sweetie stuff to my parents, to my friends, and yesterday I visited the Egyptian market like right away, and I bought not too much, but I spent around 40 liras. So I thought it will be a little bit cheaper. So I think it's the center of the city, and it's a great idea to find somewhere else, maybe in the countryside. I'm not sure that it will be a big difference of tasty stuff, but I want to try it, so I will figure this out today. So it's a high important stuff for me. Really cheap, I guess water, because it's pretty hot and you want to drink a lot. For example, when I was in Berlin, I bought like a bottle of water for €1, so it's quite expensive in the center. But here you can find a bottle of water, not too much, because I thought it will be a huge problem to find water here, because you know the situation where it is, in Istanbul. So it was surprised. I was really surprised that water is pretty cheap here. Okay. So it's not a problem, guys. Don't worry. You will not die. At least today.
Very expensive. The carpets, the Turkish carpets. Very cheap. The tea, I guess, chai.
Well, of course, carpet can be very expensive. We experience it right now. And beer is very cheap.
I don't know. There's one coffee seemed expensive, but apart from that, cheap. I don't know. Tea's pretty cheap. Food's alright. Yeah. Yeah, it was just like a branded coffee, but apart from that, I haven't done too much spending. So.
To be honest, I have been here only for one day, so I could say as expensive maybe beer compared with all the other things. Yeah. But I'm not an expert at all. And cheap, I don't know, maybe water.
Yes.
That was much cheaper, yeah.
Okay.
And very expensive is the entrance fee to the museums here in Istanbul. And I think the food is very valuable.
Very cheap, I would say food. Food is really well priced here. Expensive, maybe some clothes compared to the US, especially like the brands like Nike and stuff. It's a little more expensive here. But overall, it's been pretty well priced, everything here.
Everything at the airport was very expensive, but water and coffee and tea is so cheap once you get into the city. Carpets, let's see, I don't know, we need to do more shopping to really know.
The taxis are quite cheap here, very expensive. The food, well, it wasn't very expensive. The Princess Islands, I noticed that the price is higher for the same things. But I don't think it's that expensive.
I'm finding alcohol being expensive compared to the other European countries that we've been to, and street food being very cheap compared to the other places that we've been to.
Really cheap is, okay, let's consider food. Really cheap is simit, yeah, we all love it. And expensive is balık, fish is expensive here. I was surprised, but yeah, okay.
Okay, that's easy. This mosque right there is really expensive, 75 Turkish lira, I think, even for students. Yeah, I thought it was quite expensive, something really cheap. I will say the clothes that you just bought, like 4 tops for almost €2. For me, it's crazy. A little bit less than €2. Yeah, it's a secret item, so I will let you know after the interview if you know.
I think what's quite astonishingly cheap is taxis. Like, yeah, it's very affordable compared to what I know. What's quite expensive? I find it interesting how prices differ between different kind of restaurants. There, for example, one restaurant where you get a meal for about 15 lira, and right beside it another restaurant that's about 90 lira, a complete menu. So it differs a lot, but it's all delicious so far.
I just got here yesterday, but I think taxis are a little bit expensive, and everything else to me it's really in regular price, economic mostly.
I think food's very cheap here, very cheap, yeah. Expensive, I've seen traveling, I mean moving around, it's a little expensive.
One thing what I find cheap, I don't know, I guess in general everything is not really expensive here, and so no, I can't give you a real good example. Okay. No, so we are cool. I think everything is quite cheap. So yeah, that's good.
I can say that renting a house is like expensive in Istanbul, and what is cheap in Istanbul, maybe food. Like according to other countries, food is okay here.